Hey brethren, so in this video we'll be covering the third chord in the key of G. It will be B minor, which is a bar chord, but when it comes to the key of G, you don't really use B minor that often. Most of the time it will be certain situations that you'll be using B minor, as in like for transitioning or if you want a different sound, but most of the time you won't really run into it, so you can practice it, but when it comes to the key of G, you don't need to be too concerned about it. But with that said, let's go ahead and learn how to play it. So when you play when we call it a bar chord, the reason why we call some chords bar chords is because it requires one finger to hold more than two notes. All right. Now, when you're doing B minor, your whole pointer finger will go on the entirety of second fret. All right. And then your middle finger will go on the B string right there. So if I just isolate it, B string, third fret. Your ring finger will go on the D string, fourth fret, and then your pinky will go on the G string, fourth fret. So if you notice, A minor was like this before, and so now the only difference is that we're moving it up to the second fret now, and it sounds like this. Right? Now, the difficulty with playing bar chords at first is that beginners typically have a hard time keeping the bar down. It's not necessarily these strings that are the problem, like not these fingers, but it's the pain of holding down the bar. But the trick is not only with practice, but you only really need to cover this string and this very bottom one. So these two notes. So this one and this one. Because these other three strings are covered by this. So really you only need to put pressure on the very tip of your finger and at the very bottom part here. So you don't need to stress this part, really. It's mostly about the tip and all the way down here. So you kind of have to curve your finger almost in order to really play it that way. So you can, if I pluck each individual note, you can hear that last note here. Because sometimes what might happen is if you're not pressing too hard, it can sound like this, right? And you won't get those notes that you want to get. You won't get the chord that you want to hear. So when you're doing it, make sure you concentrate your strength to here and to here. So once again, if I play it, so, and then if I pluck it so you can hear each individual note. And also, if you are playing a bar chord, usually don't have your thumb all the way up here or anywhere on the... So when you're playing bar chords, typically, you don't want to have your finger all the way up here, because not only will you not be able to play the bar itself, but you won't have as much strength when you're pressing down the strings. And I know I said earlier that don't, or with the G chord video, that don't overpress, but with the bar chord, so much of your strength is being put into this finger that you want to just be able to press as hard as you can, because you don't have all of your strength committed to one note. You're putting this energy into two notes. So I put your thumb all the way down here, so it's on the lower half of the neck of the guitar. And you, once again, if I play it again, it is a bar chord, but you don't have to be too concerned about it when you're playing the key of G, mostly because you won't hear it that often. But when the cases that you do, at least now you have some knowledge on how to play it and what not to do and how to play the bar chord. And yeah, that's how you play B minor.